What I want to talk about is the structure of the physical vessel, okay? And we're going to break it down. And we're going to start with the king, okay? The king is the brain. This is the module system to the whole entire structure of the physical vessel. Without the brain working properly, none of this will work properly, and you'll have a misfire somewhere, and you'll have a check engine light on. Okay, this is what we're talking about. You get this serious just quick. When you look at your vehicle and you see a check engine light, you know something's wrong with the engine. That's why they say it's the engine. The brain. If it has a check engine light going off with one of the modules, you have an issue in one of the locations, and most likely you'll have a disease in one of the locations. Maybe your organ starts to fail, and you'll have to have a surgery or something to modify the structure, because you're modifying it now to correction, right? You're trying to recorrect this error. Most of the time, it's usually stemming from the brain, which is an electrical issue. Okay, and it's the king. This is the king of the body. Okay, this is the main control system to the physical structure. Now you get to the neck, which is connected to the vocal cord, which is the voice. Okay, without the vocal cord, which system which would be right here in the neck, which is connected to the brain, which is connected to that vocal cord system, which will give you the voice, that will be right in this area, which will be the mouth system. And then you have the cervical bone that sends a signal from the sacrum all the way up to the brain and lubricates that. This is the sacrum, the lubrication, okay? That's the lubrication to the engine. Every engine needs oil, and that's what that is. Now, when you get down to the body part, you also have to deal with the heart, okay? The heart, which has 4 valves, okay? 4 valves that send off blood to each individual location, and this will be the main pump, or it's also the alternator and the starter, okay? The alternator and the starter, which helps send electrical signals throughout the physical structure of the body to send blood to the locations like white blood cells or stuff like that. And also you have the lungs in the body, okay? This lung system, you need this lung system to be clean, because what is it going to do? It's going to breathe in clean air. It's presuming that the air is clean, and you need clean lungs. So you need clean lungs in order to produce clean air, CO2, which goes to the brain location. When this is dirty, you have a dirty brain, a dirty lung system. Your liver starts getting dirty, your heart becomes dirty, and your vessel starts breaking down because you're putting chemicals inside your system, okay? And it's not natural. Leading me to my next one, the liver, which is a filter. It's a filter system that filters the fluids. Okay, the fluids coming in through the system of the structure system. So it's going to filter the fluids. Now, the intestines is a decomposing physical compound to food structures. Okay, which is solids. So you have one for liquids. You have a filter for liquids, which is your liver, and you have one for solids, which is called your intestines. Okay, and then you also have a converter system, which it converts into energy, which is going to be your pancreas, which is your insulin system, and that is a natural energy booster to the physical structure, basically like nitrogen oxide. Oxygen, and you push the button, you get a little boost. This is basically what it is. So that's why he says when you fast, you'll get a boost of health, a health boost. Okay, this is why he wants you to boost, because you're gonna boost that pancreas, right? And then it's gonna break down this chemical system that's inside your physical structure of the vessel. Based on that, there's a bunch of waste inside that intestinal system that you need to break down through the fasting system that will turn into energy, and it'll lead to a better health, okay? And you'll lead to a better health, which is also right below the waistline, is called the sheet of life on males, or the egg for females, or the ovaries and stuff like that. And the males will be the reason why children are on the earth. The males are, and that's why he created the male first, because it need to have the sheet of life on the planet in order to have the children, which would create the female next. And that was why the male was created first, female was created second, because the female doesn't create the child, she just conceives the child, which is different from the male producing the sheet of life, which created the more metamorphosis law. Okay, and that's connected to the sacrum. Okay, the sacrum, or the sacrament, is what they state in serving on Sundays, is participating in the sacrament, which is also the lubrication to the engine of the brain. Okay, and now when you get legs and stuff, you get the main arteries to the legs, the joint systems, the bending and flexing of the muscles, and that comes down to the movement system. Okay, and the movement system is all running from the brain. This is why the brain is the king of the body. Okay, because it requires everything to work properly for you to get these legs moving properly. Now you could have a deforming situation, which means is deforming is that when you went to morph that sheet, it didn't form properly. It didn't morph properly into the correct positions or places, which is also called shape-shifting. When it was shifting these parts into place, they had an issue with inside the shape-shifting law, okay, and then the Morpheus law. Now, when you get to the brain, it's also connected to the emotions, which is chemical reaction, okay? It's a reaction of chemicals within inside the emotional system of chemicals that could collide within inside the mind, creating an explosion of thoughts. They also connect that to what they call thoughts or feelings, okay? And that is considered to be the chemical reaction to the emotional system that brought a thought and exploded within inside the mind, leading to a reaction, okay? Now the arms lead to movement and also leads to work, okay? The arms is the main system to working on the earth, okay? Without your arms, you cannot work, right? Correct? So you need the arms to work because you're going to lift up products, and you're going to use the legs as a lifting system. So you're using your arms to work, but yet you're twisting your body to move these products. So you need the legs to be able to bend and twist in proper motion. Depending on if you're going to move by pivoting, okay? You're going to pivot, okay? And that's how you move when lifting packages and stuff. You're pivoting, not twisting. It's pivoting. So there's a difference.